Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I've got a little bit of an unboxing of a filter system that I've purchased myself off of Amazon, and I've been looking around for a filter system for quite some time. This filter system was a bit of a gamble, is to put it probably in one word. Yeah, there wasn't many reviews about it online, and I thought, looking at what I wanted from a filter system was obviously a filter holder, but one with an integral circular polarizer. Now the likes of Lee and Case provide that, but for the filter holder and for the circular polarizer, that was pretty expensive on its own. I then also wanted a square ND filter, at least a 10 stop, because that's what I've got already on a screw-in filter. And when I was looking at the system from JongSun, now I've never heard of that before, and it was a bit of a gamble, as I say, to purchase this one. But I was looking at it for some time and I thought, it ticks all the boxes, let's get it, and should obviously I have any issues, then there is the potential of obviously returning it. Now I've just unboxed it, as you've just seen, and I'm pretty impressed so far with the actual quality. The filter holder itself is metal, which is really quite nice, and it feels nice and sturdy. The actual mounts for the filters are obviously plastic, and that will obviously make sure that it's going to hold the filters in place. And there is an integral circular polarizer between obviously the lens of the camera and the actual integral part of the filter holder, and I really do like that. Now I know that Case do a really good one, and as you've seen by many other YouTubers, Case do a really good set and the quality is very good. But as I say, for the actual filter holder itself and the circular polarizer, it was more expensive than what I've purchased, which is obviously the filter holder, circular polarizer and a 10 stop filter is what I've got for less than the Case filter system, filter holder that is. So first impressions, yeah, it's pretty good actually. I've put it together. Now I will be testing this out in the field and hopefully linking this in with a actually on the ground practice of this. I'm hoping to obviously be able to put it to test. But first impressions of the actual filter holder and the circular polarizer are pretty good. Now you can, with the adjustments on the back here, that you can move the actual circular polarizer to obviously obtain that ultimate perfect polarization of the composition once the actual filter is installed. And I'm going to have a look now at the 10 stop ND filter that I've purchased at the same time. So again, this is the JongSun ND 10 stop ND filter. Now it's a bit tricky to actually test this out indoors, so I will need to go out into the field to use it. However, just looking out the window now, you can definitely see that it cuts down on the light. But the big test is if there's any colour cast from this. Now there was a lot more reviews about this filter on the Amazon site when I was looking at it to suggest that there wasn't any colour cast. However, proof's in the pudding. I will be taking it out and doing a follow-up piece to this part. But from initial inspection, it's pretty good. There's it's a nice feel to the solidness of this actual filter. It's a 100 by 100 filter, which is one thing that I really wanted to get. And the reason why I wanted to upgrade from the Hoya screw-in filter that I've already got is when I was out taking it on a shoot, the screwing in of the filter on the front of the camera meant that it was very difficult to keep the camera in focus. I would focus and then screw on the ND filter. However, because I was screwing it on, it was moving the focus rings on the camera lens and meant that then I had to refocus, which, as you're aware, can be a bit of a pain. So the idea of obviously getting a slide-in square filter system meant that I didn't necessarily need to do that or have that issue when I'm out in the field. But like I say, the proof's in the pudding when I'm using this filter, and hopefully there won't be any colour cast, but we'll wait and see about that one. So I've got a bit of a composition set up here in the back garden. Yeah, is what it is really, to be honest. But what I've got is a little bit of the trees as an anchor point, because you want something a little bit static, and obviously looking at the sky. Now the sky there's lots of cloud in there, but it's not really moving that fast. So I've turned it onto the bulb mode, f16, ISO 100, and then 1 minute on the bulb timer set up on the 77D. So let's see what that does. Still picking up really quite well, and also I've been playing around with the actual polarizer, and that's really working well. So I'm really super pleased that you can still use the polarizer with the 10 stop ND filter on. So let's see that one. That's focusing nicely on one of the parts of the cloud. Let's cook that for 1 minute. That 1 minute exposure is done. Looking on the back of the camera, I can't really see any colour cast, but I'm going to take it back into the computer shortly. However, I just wanted to check out the polarizer. So I've put the Canon 77D into video mode. Let's just set that going. Let's see how that works. Now, I'm just going to spin the polarizer, and hopefully you can see that working on the blue of the cloud. Yeah, making that really dark and really polarizing that and bringing that through. Yeah, that's working quite well. Now to adjust it, as I mentioned earlier, there's a little dial here. I suppose it could have been better on the likes of the case filter system when there's a larger dial that you can move. However, yeah, it is working, and it is pretty easy to move just with one finger. My only concern maybe is if I need to use the polarizer or use the filter system when I've got gloves on as well. However, obviously with the photography gloves I can obviously take out one finger, so I can obviously use that. I don't think it's going to be that easy to use with gloves on particularly, but is that really going to be an issue? I'm not too sure. But yeah, super impressed so far with this system. Hopefully there'll be no colour cast. I'll get that image back into the computer now and see what it turns out like. Looking at the images initially on Lightroom, no obvious colour casting at all really. Obviously a different exposure. I've done a 30-second exposure, 50 seconds and 60 seconds. 50-second image is probably the best balanced image without actually needing to do any adjustments, and I'll put up all three of those images without any adjustments. And yeah, I think I'll just adjust the 50-second exposures. That's probably looking the better one out of the two, or to be fair, it's either or really between that and the 60-second one, but I will do a processed one of that. And that's the thing, shooting in RAW anyway, you can obviously do that processing, but the key thing that I really wanted to test was if there was any obvious colour cast, and it doesn't appear to be at all. The polarization worked, which is again one thing I was a bit worried about. However, that does seem to work quite well, and in some of the footage hopefully you can see the actual adapter ring moving, which will then obviously coincide with the adjustment to the CPL as well. But yeah, overall first impressions really good. This whole setup with the filter holder, circular polarizer and the 10 stop filter as well came in round about 140 odd quid from Amazon. I'll put a link to the details of this below. Just to clarify, I bought this all out of my own money. I've not obviously approached JongSun to obviously sponsor me or send me any of this, so this is all an honest review. I've purchased it all out of my own money. But the key thing for this is going to be testing it for real when I'm actually out on the ground. And that's going to be a key thing that I really want to do, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so, to actually use this to its full potential once it's out. And to be honest, I really don't think you can test anything until you're actually taking it out into the field and used it and put it through its paces and put the demands that you want to expect out of a particular image, obviously a long exposure, but also with the polarization as well that I want to get. This will hopefully set up and work out really quite well. But I'll give some more feedback in a few weeks time after I've used it to see how I'm getting along. But yeah, as a first sort of unboxing of some new gear on my channel, just wanted to obviously show you what I've purchased and my initial thoughts so far. But I will update as this progresses and as this obviously gets the chance to use it out in the field. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. A little bit different from me being out in the field, but it's something to do with photography, and something that's quite important to me is this new filter system. So fingers crossed it will only continue to get as good as the results that I've got today. Thank you everyone for watching, and until next time when I'm out and about again, take care.